ॐ गणानां त्वा गणपतिगुं हवामहे कविं कवीनामुपमश्रवस्तमं ज्येष्ठराजं ब्रह्मणां ब्रह्मणस्पत आनः शृण्वन्नोतिभिः सीदसादनं श्रीमहागणाधिपतये नमः। गुरुर्ब्रह्मा गुरुर्विष्णुः गुरुर्देवो महेश्वरः गुरुः साक्षात् परं ब्रह्म तस्मै श्रीगुरवे नमः। सदाशिवसमारम्भां शङ्कराचार्यमध्यमाम् अस्मदाचार्यपर्यन्तां वन्दे गुरुपरम्पराम्। ॐ भद्रं कर्णेभिः शृणुयाम देवाः भद्रं पश्येमाक्षभिर्यजत्राः स्थिरैरङ्गैः स्तुष्ट्वागुंसस्तनूभिः व्यशेम देवहितं यदायुः। स्वस्ति न इन्द्रो वृद्धश्रवाः स्वस्ति नः पूषा विश्ववेदाः स्वस्ति नस्तार्क्ष्यो अरिष्टनेमिः स्वस्ति नो बृहस्पतिर्दधातु। ॐ शान्ति शान्ति शान्तिः। Dear friends, we are in this sixth prashna of Prashnopanishad. Sixth prashna, we are seeing the Bhashyam. In the last class, I was telling you we are in a rather turbulent weather. Today and tomorrow also we will continue to be in the same turbulent weather. So we have to tighten our belt and listen carefully. So the context is about this Shodasha Kalah Purushaha. That is the Purusha with 16 aspects. The Purusha here refers to the Supreme Brahman. Purusha here refers to the Supreme Brahman, who is said to be the cause for this whole universe. Is he directly the cause? If he is directly the cause, the creator who is sitting there somewhere in heaven and creating all this universe, etc., if we visualize that Purusha like that, then there is a problem of causality. That is, cause-effect relationship. Whatever is the cause, the same will be the effect. And then the Srishtikarta will also be a sort of parichinna person. Parichinna means a delimited person. And whatever, the Srishtikarta is a person who is there sitting with some sort of material, and then with that material he is making this universe. So that is the picture, that will be the picture. But that cannot be accepted, because the Srishtikarta is the intelligent cause, there is a separate material cause. It cannot be accepted. So we have said that this whatever is this Srushti which is happening, for this the supreme reality is Abhinna Nimitta Upadana Karanam. It is also the Nimitta, it is also the Upadana Karanam. That does not mean that the Brahman is undergoing a change. If Brahman undergoes a change, he is a Vikari and again Anitya. So Brahman, which has been defined as supreme consciousness, it remains as it is. There is absolutely no change in this. It is Avikari, Niravayavi, because it is infinite in nature, it is Niravayavi. Avayavi is something which is finite in nature. Niravayavi is something which is infinite, where there are no limbs. So, but still, it is appearing as though there are so many aspects. So, all these aspects, then what are they? They are just manifest in him. They are said to be projections of Maya. So, these projections of Maya are called the Kalas here. So, that is what we see. And all these projections, they will resolve back into the same Purusha. Once you realize, once you meditate on them, once you think about the reality, once you examine their reality, and then once you examine their reality, they all fade away. They all fade away and then they resolve back into the same supreme consciousness. That is the overall picture here. So here, there is a division of, first of all, there is a question about the knower and the known. There is a discussion about what is the knower, that is what is the consciousness, and what is Jnayam, that is the known. Consciousness is the knower, and whatever is Jnayam, that is the knowable. So there is a discussion about what exactly is this knower and known. So we were there in that thing, and in the last class we read the passages like Anapayopajana Dharmaka Chaitanyameva Nama Rupa Dipadi Dharmai Pratyavabhasate. We saw that thing. That is the knowledge or consciousness which is devoid of this apaya or upajana, that is which is devoid of death and birth, that is appearing. Pratyavabhasate, it is manifesting. It is a phenomena manifesting with names and forms. So that is what we saw. And he quoted several Shrutis, that is Satyam, Jnanam, Anantam, Brahma, etc., etc. Then Avyabhicharishu pada, Swarupa Vyabhicharishu padartheshu. That line also was clear, we read that line. That is, all these padarthas may be changing. Padarthas means all the Jnaya Vastu, all the objects might be changing, but then the Jnanam is constant. Jnanam does not change. Jnanam is always there. That Satyam Jnanam Anantam, we have seen that elaborated discussion in Taittiriya Upanishad. That Sat, what is Sat? That which exists, which is beyond time, which is Trikala Badhyam. And then if one object goes, there is another object. This object goes, there is another object. So San Ghataha, San Pataha, etc., San Hasti, etc., all those appears, they may go away. But Sat, that Sadbhavaha, that remains. So that is what we have seen there. Something similar is being argued here, saying that the Jnaya may keep on changing, but the Jnanam remains constant. So that is what we have seen in the last class. Tatha tatha Jnayamanattvadeva tasya tasya Chaitanya Avyabhicharitvam. So Chaitanya is Avyabhichari. That is, it does not change. We have seen that thing. We have seen that word Vyabhichari also. Vyabhichari means that which changes, that which deviates. Then Vastu Tattvancha Bhavati Kinchan Na Jnayate iti Charupapannam. So it is not as though there is an object which is there and then it is not known. Such a situation doesn't arise. Then we also saw this line, Vyabhicharati tu Jnayam Jnanam, Na Vyabhicharati Kadachidapi Jnanam Jnayam. So there I was explaining which has to be there in Prathama Vibhakti, which has to be there in accusative case. That is, which should be there in nominative case and which should be there in accusative case. So in the first line, Vyabhicharati tu Jnayam Jnanam. Jnayam is inconstant. Jnayam changes with respect to Jnana. So Jnaya is the subject there. Jnayam changes with respect to Jnana. Jnananni Vyabhicharistundi, if you want to say in Telugu, because Telugu construction is the same as Sanskrit construction. Jnayamu Jnananni Vyabhicharistundi. So which means Jnaya is the subject. Jnanam is in Dvitiya Vibhakti. So that is how we have to read here. That is, Jnayam is inconstant with respect to Jnana, but the Jnanam is constant with respect to Jnaya. It does not change. Jnayam does not change with respect to Jnayam. So that is what it is. Then that line we read, isn't it? Then let us see. Let us continue. Jnaya bhavepi jnayantare bhavat jnanasya nahi jnane asati jnayam nama bhavati kasyachit. So he is continuing, he is elaborating what he said earlier. That is, Jnaya bhavepi. If there is absence or if there is non-existence of one particular Jnaya, it is there in some other Jnayantaram. Jnayantaram means another object. One object may not be there, another object is there, and in that another object, Jnanam is very much there. Jnayantare bhavat. Bhavat means because it exists. Bhava means existing. Jnayantare bhavat, because it is existing in that Jnayantara. Then nahi jnane asati, if jnana were not to be there, if jnana were not to exist, then jnayam nama bhavati, jnayam nama na bhavati kasyachit. The na has to be connected here. Jnane asati, jnayam nama na bhavati kasyachit. There cannot be any object called jnayam. If jnanam were not to be there, there is no jnayam. Then the Purvapakshi says, Sushupte adarshanaat Jnanasyapi sushupte abhavat Jnayavat jnanaswarupasyapi Jnanaswarupasya. What does your book say? Yeah, api I have just added because Jnanaswarupa, that is what he means. Jnanaswarupasya vyabhichara iti chet na. Sometimes you have to bring certain adhyaya, do some adhyahara of certain words, otherwise, in order to make a clear meaning. Sushupte adarshanaat. What means what? In Sushupti, Jnayam is not there. Sushupti Jnayam is not there. Then obviously Jnanam also is not there. So that is what he says. Because we have to see this Siddhanta. In Sushupti, also Jnanam is very much present. That is our Siddhanta. Even Vainashikas, they also accept it. That is what we will see in the end. Say Sushupti, where all the senses are withdrawn, the mind is withdrawn, the deep sleep, the dream state also is gone, then there is no Jnaya. So there he says, Sushupte adarshanaat. So what he is trying to say is, Jnanam also is Vyabhichari. Jnanam also is Vyabhichari. Jnanam also is there sometimes, it is not there sometimes. So that is the argument of the Purvapakshi. Sushupte darshanat. Jnanasyapi sushupte abhavat. Because sushupti, in sushupti, jnana does not exist. Sushupte jnanasyapi abhavat. In sushupti, because jnana does not exist, jneyavat, like jneyam, jnanasyapi jnanaswarupasya vyabhicharaha. Jnanaswarupasya, the very nature of consciousness. It also, we should say that also is vyabhichari. That also undergoes change, that also changes. It is there for some time, it is not there for some time. We have to say like that. So that is what the Purvapakshi says. Iti chet, it is not like that. Then the Siddhanti is going to say, this jneyam is somewhat like a light. Sorry, not jneyam, jnanam. Jnanam is somewhat like a light. Suppose there is a dark room. Why dark room? Any rooms, let us say. And then dark room, let us say. And then we will switch on the torch light. That torch light illumines all the things. If there are objects, it will illumine. If there are no objects, it cannot illumine. Then you can't say that the light itself is not there. So that is what he is going to say. Jneyavabhasakasya jnanasya. Not vabhasakasya, jneya avabhasakasya. Jneyavabhasakasya jnanasya. Jneyasya avabhasakam. Avabhasakam means it illumines. Jneyani, it illumines. Jneyasya avabhasakam. So jneyavabhasakasya jnanasya. Alokavat ज्ञेयाभिव्यंजकत्वात् स्वव्यंग्याभावे आलोकाभाव अनुपपत्तिवत् सुषुप्ते विज्ञानाभाव अनुपपत्तेः. So here, even if you miss one dirgham vijnanabhava, instead of vijnanabhava you say vijnanabhava, or vijnanabhava upapattehe, even if you miss one small a dirgham, you will miss it totally, you get a contradictory meaning. So here, the overall meaning is what I said. Jneyavabhasakasya jnanasya. You remove this tvat. Whenever this tvat prayoga comes, you make it into what is this? Not Panchami, you make it into Prathama, let us say. Jneyavabhasakam jnanam. You understand like that. Jneyavabhasakam jnanam. That is, jnanam is something, that is consciousness or knowledge is something which illumines an object. Jneyasya avabhasakam. It illumines. So for sushupte abhavaha, sushupte tasya abhavaha. Sushupte, we read it. Sushupte tasya abhavaha. So that is what he says, sushupti, in that sushupti. No, not that thing. No, not the other line. Alokavat jneyabhivyanjakatvam, vyanjakatvat. So that is alokavat jneyabhivyanjakam, let us say. Alokavat, aloka means light. Aloka means light. Alokavat jneya abhivyanjakam. Abhivyanjaka is same thing as abhabhasaka. Abhivyanjaka, vyangya, vyanjaka. Vyangya is the thing which is illumined. Vyanjaka is that which illumines. Vyanja, vyanjaka. So those letters you can see. Jneya abhivyanjakatvat, because it illumines the object. Now you make it into Panchami. Because it is so. If you want to say because it is so, for the whole thing, if you want to say like that, you put the whole thing in Panchami Vibhakti. And the first subject in Shashti Vibhakti. Jneyavabhasakasya jnanasya. This was Jneyavabhasakam jnanam, isn't it? Jneyavabhasakam jnanam alokavat jneyavivyanjakam. So that is it. So you change this. Jneyavabhasakasya jnanasya alokavat jneyavivyanjakatvat. So the overall meaning is, because this jnanam is somewhat like that light which illumines an object. Because you are having this tvat, that Panchami Vibhakti, because of that. Then swavyangya bhave. Vyangya means the object which is going to be illumined. Meaning is not very difficult, only the language is Shastriya language. Swavyangya bhave. Swa, for that, vyangya abhava. Absence of a vyangyam, absence of an object which has to be illumined. Is it clear? Vyangya bhave. Vyangya, Vyanjaka. You remember those words. Vyanjakam is something which illumines. Vyangya is something which is illumined. So Vyangya bhave means in the absence of something which is to be illumined, then aloka bhava anupapattivat. You can't say that aloka abhava. Anupapatti. Anupapatti means improbability. What? Improbability of what? Aloka bhavasya. Aloka bhavasya anupapattihi. The improbability of non-existence of light. Such a complicated structure. The impossibility of non-existence of light. So that is the overall meaning. So this is Shastriya language. Aloka bhava anupapattivat. So just as you cannot say, you can't say about the improbability of absence of aloka. Absence of aloka. So that is the meaning. Then like that, sushupte vat. Here it is, you see, aloka bhava anupapatti vat. Like that, sushupte, in sushupti, vijnana bhava anupapatte. Vijnana bhavasya anupapattihi. That is, you can't say that the improbability of absence of jnana. That is, even in sushupti, vijnana is very much there. So that is the siddhanta. That siddhanta we have to keep in mind. In sushupti also, vijnana is very much there. So that is why we say that Brahman, the consciousness, is something which is there in all the three states and beyond. That beyond is what we call turiyam. That objectless consciousness, what we say, objectless consciousness or contentless consciousness, as we say. So then, is this line clear? And he also gives an example. Nahi andhakare chakshusha rupanupalabdhau anupalabdhau chakshusho abhavah shakyah kalpayitum vainashikena. No, Vainashikena. Vainashikena. Vainashika means that one school of Buddhism. Vainashikas. That school of Buddhism. Vainashika, the footnote gives, Shanabhanguravadi Bauddhohi Pratikshanam Sarvasya Vinasham Manyate Ityasau Vainashika. Why is he called Vainashika? The footnote here is explaining. Shanabhanguravadi Bauddha. That is, the consciousness which arises in the mind is something which is Shanabhanguram. Shanabhanguram means it is there existing for a moment. For a moment. So he is an advocate of momentary consciousness. And then Pratikshanam Sarvasya Vinasham Manyate. It is arising and dying. It is arising and dying. Arising and dying. Pratikshanam, it is arising and dying. So that is what he says. Iti Ityasau Vainashika. Because he says like that, he is called Vainashika. So then, Vainashika cannot say like this, that's what he says. Nahi andhakare chakshusha rupa anupalabdhau. Suppose there is darkness. In that darkness, your eyes are fit and then you are in a fit condition. But there is pitch darkness. You are not able to see anything. Then you can't say that you don't have eye. It is only when there is an object you can say that. If you can't see that, then you can say that you have no eye. In andhakara, in darkness, total pitch darkness, if you can't see something, rupa anupalabdhau, rupasya anupalabdhi, non-cognition of rupa, anupalabdhi, upalabdhi means cognition, anupalabdhi means non-cognition, rupa anupalabdhau, in the case of non-cognition of a rupa means shape or appearance, andhakare, in that thing, chakshushaha abhavaha nashakyayitum kalpayitum, nashakyah kalpayitum, that is, the absence of eye cannot be advocated by you. You can't visualize or you can't say, you can't advocate, you can't draw a conclusion. You can't draw a conclusion that I is not there. Isn't it? So even the Vainashika cannot say like that. Then next, another suggestion is there. Vainashiko Jnaya bhave jnana bhavam kalpayatyeva.
Jnaya bhave jnanam nirakarattvena iti.
That sentence is not there, man. No, let us see. You just see. Vainashiko
Jnaya bhave jnanam
nirakarotyeva.
Nirakarotyeva iti chet. Yena tadabhavam kalpayet.
Okay, meaning doesn't change. Nirakarotyeva iti chet. Yena tadabhavam kalpayet. Tasya abhavah kena kalpyate iti vaktavyam vainashikena.
Tasya abhavah kena kalpyate iti vaktavyam vainashikena.
So suppose the Vainashika says, Vainashika mate chakshusho jnana abhinnatvat, okay. Abhavo andhakare jnana, okay. Vainashika jnaya bhave jnana bhavam kalpayati eva. So in that Vainashika theory, if jnaya is not there, jnanam also is not there. Jnanam is something which is dependent on jnayam. Jnanam is something which is always dependent on jnayam. If jnayam is not there, jnanam is not there at all. So Vainashika jnaya bhave, in the absence of a jnayam, in the absence or in the event of non-existence of an object. Abhava, strictly speaking, we have to translate as non-existence. I am using a simple term called absence. In the non-existence of jnaya, jnana bhavam kalpayati eva. He says, yes, jnana bhavam is there. That is, which means jnana does not exist. The non-existence of jnanam is presumed by the Vainashika in the case of non-existence of an object. In simple terms, he says that when jnaya, a subject, is not there, jnanam also is not there. That is the simple terms. Iti chet, then if it is so, then suppose he says jnanam is not there. Then how are you saying that jnanam is not there? In order to say that jnanam is not there, you should have consciousness, you should have intelligence. So that is the point. Yena tad abhavam kalpayet, that means yena jnanena. Yena, at that yena, you can write yena jnanena. The jnanam by which you are dismissing that abhava, you are tad abhavam kalpayet, you are visualizing that abhava. The jnanam by which you are visualizing the absence of jnanam. Is it clear? The jnanam by which you are visualizing the absence of jnanam, tasya abhavaha means tasya jnanasya abhavaha. Tasya jnanasya abhavaha kena kalpyate. Kena means kena jnanena. By what jnanam are you visualizing it? You are saying that there is no jnanam. So by what knowledge are you visualizing that there is no jnanam? You are definitely having some knowledge. Knowledge is always there. Knowledge has to be there in order to visualize even the absence of knowledge. So that is the point. Kena kalpyate, by which jnana it can be kalpyate, iti vaktavyam, Vainashikena. So the Vainashika has to answer this. That is it. Then he is, okay, next. Tad abhavasyapi jnayatvat. ज्ञेयत्वात् ज्ञानाभावे तदनुपपत्तेः तद अभावस्यापि ज्ञेयत्वात्. That means tat. What is this tat here? Tat refers to jnana. Jnanasya abhavasyapi jnayatvat. Jnanam is really not absent. But considering your point, taking your statement, tad abhavasyapi, even if you say that jnana is not there, tad abhavasyapi jnayatvat, jnana bhave tad anupapattehe. If jnanam were not to be there, you would not be able to say. If jnanam were not there, you would not be able to say that there is jnana bhava. So that means jnana is always there, it is always present. Then there is another suggestion. Jnanasya jnaya vyatiriktatvat. Jnaya vyatiriktatvat. Jnaya avyatirittatvat. Jnaya bhave jnana bhava iti chetana. There is another suggestion. Suppose if we suppose that jnanam is something which is jnaya avyatiriktam. Jnanasya jnaya avyatiriktatvat. If we suppose that jnanam is something which is not different from jnayam. So jnanam and jnayam are one. So that is another theory. Jnanam and jnayam are one and the same. Suppose you see an object. The object and its knowledge or its awareness, they are not two different things, they are one and the same. So that is what is the contention. If jnanasya jnaya avyatiriktatvat, that is, if you suppose that there is this jnanam is not different from jnayam, avyatiriktatvat, jnaya bhave jnana bhava iti chet. So the Purvapaksha always tries to establish jnana bhava. Jnanam is something which is there at some times, which is not there at some times. So that is his aim. His goal is to say that jnana is also vibhichari. Jnana may be there at some times, that may not be there at some times. So he says, if we suppose that this jnanam is something which is not different from jnayam, then in the case of jnaya bhava also is there, isn't it? If both are one and the same, One is you and I are same. If you and I are same, if you are not there, I am also not there. So like that. So jnaya bhave, jnana bhavaha. In case the jnaya is not there, jnaya bhava, jnana bhava. All this discussion is about sushupti. In sushupti, there is jnaya bhava, isn't it? Sushupti, there is jnaya, absence of jnaya, absence of object, absence of knowledge of objects. So there, that knowledge also is being denied. So that is the point. Iti chet na abhavasyapi jneyatvaabhyupagamat. Jneyatvaabhyupagamat. Because you have already said that abhyupagama. Abhyupagama means you are referring to the opposite man's contention. Abhyupagama is, you are also saying that. Abhyupagama. Abhyupagama means you have already accepted that. You have already accepted that abhava is also jnayam. So there is no question of absence of say jnayam. There cannot be jnaya bhava because jnaya bhava also is an abhava, isn't it? And abhava is jnayam. You see, absence of this thing. Absence of thing is also jnayam. So that is what it is. Absence of this thing also is, that is also jnayam. Abhavasyapi jnayatva abhyupagamat. Because you have already agreed, your theory also says that abhava is jnayam. Abhava is something which is knowable. So in which case, jnaya bhava is definitely knowable, isn't it? Jnaya abhavasyapi jnayatva abhyupagamat. Abhavopi jnayah abhyupagamyate. Did we read this? We did. Vainashikaihi nityascha. So this Vainashika Siddhanta is elaborating. Abhavopi jneyah abhyupagamyate Vainashikaihi. Not only that, nityaha also. Abhava, for them, any bhava padartha is anityam. For them, a vastu is anitya. But then abhava, that is non-existence, is something which is nityam. Because he is a Vainashika, he says, pratishanam jayate nashyati. Jayate nashyati. So abhava is something which is nityam. And bhava is something which is anityam. Ephemeral, momentary. So that is what he says. So for this, in fact, we have to read a lot of the theories of, say, consciousness, which are told by Buddhists. Buddhism, there are 4 schools of Buddhists. Say, Yogachara, Sautrantika, Madhyamika, etc. There are 4 schools. Because Lord Buddha lived for 80 years. And then he might have told different things at different places, at different stages of his life. We do not know. After all, any human being evolves. At the age of 30, he might have told something. At the age of 80, he might have told something. And then he taught at different places, isn't it? He taught at so many places. He moved all around. He taught at different places. And different people might have understood what Buddha said in different ways. And then Buddha did not write down anything. Buddha only taught. And then after Buddha's death, the students gathered after a few years. It is said that about 30 years or something like that. They gathered at one place and then they wanted to write down what Buddha told. So they are supposed to be the Tripitakas. And some 300 years later, another 200 to 300 years later, I am not sure about the time, again all the Buddhists, they sat together. By that time they had also grown their influence had grown. So they again gathered and then they again rewrote certain things. So that's how we have got 4 schools. Bahya Stitvavadi, Bahya Anumeyavadi. So like that there are some Vijnanavadi, Shunyavadi. So like that we have got these 4 varieties. So this is something we have to read. We have to read what Tarkikas say, we have to read what Sankhyas say. So it requires a very, very elaborate study. Right now we cannot go into those things. I am only saying Shankaracharya, what Shankaracharya is saying and he is quoting the Purvapakshi rightly. Shankaracharya does not do injustice to Purvapakshi. He quotes the other man's argument correctly and then dismisses it. So we can accept as it is. Otherwise, we have to read that not only that critical survey of Indian philosophy I was saying yesterday, I suggest we have to read that in order to have a slightly better understanding. Otherwise, we will be just nodding to whatever the book says. So instead of that, we will have a slightly better appreciation. Then, Jnanasya, where did we stop? Yeah. Abhavasyapi jneyatvaabhyupagamat. Because in your argument, in your theory, abhava is also jnaya. So he is elaborating. Abhavopi Jnayah Abhyupagamyate. Abhyupagamyate means it is accepted by you. Abhyupagamyate. Abhava is accepted by you as Jnayam. Vainashikaihi. Not only that, Nityascha. Vainashikaihi Nityascha. You are also saying it is Nityam. It is always there. Then tad avyatiritam chet jnanam nityam kalpitam syat. So if you say that jnana is not different from jnayam, then you are saying, you are admitting our theory. You are admitting that it is nityam. You are saying that jnana abhava and abhava is nityam. You are saying that jnaya bhave jnana abhavaha. And abhavam is nityam according to you. If you say that jnanam is not different from jnayam, tad avyatiriktam chet. Avyatiriktam is not different. Tad avyatiriktam chet jnanam. If you say that jnanam is not different from jnayam, and then jnaya bhave, jnana bhava, etc., and abhava is something which is nityam, then you are yourself saying that jnanam is nityam. So it is some sort of logical derivation. Nityam kalpitam syat. Abhava jnanam nityam kalpitam syat. You yourself are accepting that jnanam is nityam. Then tadabhavasya cha jnanatmakatvat abhavatvam vangmatrameva na paramarthatah abhavatvam anityatvam cha jnanasya na cha nityasya jnanasya abhava namamatraadhyarope kinchin naschinnam. Okay, so he is elaborating. You have admitted that jnanam is nityam, because you say abhava is say jnayam, say jnayam is equal to jnanam, jnaya bhave jnana bhave jnana, jnaya bhave jnana bhava. Then you are saying that this is not different from jnaya, so you are accepting that abhava is nityam. Likewise, jnanam is nityam. So then he is explaining. Tad abhavasya cha jnanatmakatvat, because that abhava also is jnanatmakam, isn't it? That abhava is also jnanatmakam. Then tad abhavatvam vangmatrameva. What you say abhava, non-existence, is vangmatrameva. It is only namesake. You are just mentioning. It is not there. You are just saying it is vangmat. Namesake means you are just saying it is abhava, but it is very much there. You are saying that it is non-existent, but it is very much there. It is nityam. Vangmatrameva. Na paramarthatah abhavatvam anityatvam cha jnanasya. For this jnanam, paramarthatah, in absolute terms, there is no abhava, there is no anityatvam. Paramarthatah na abhavaha na anityatvam. There is no non-existence, there is no ephemerality or impermanence. Anityatvam is ephemerality or impermanence. Then nacha nityasya jnanasya, for this jnanam which is nityam, jnanam is eternal, for that jnanam, abhava namamatraadhyarope sati. In case you are attributing that name called abhava, nitya jnanam is very much there. For that you are attributing a word called abhava, it is not existing. We don't lose anything. So that is what it is. Kinchin naschinnam. Kinchit naha. Naha means for us. Chinnam means damaged or torn. Chinnam. Pustakam chinnam. Vastram chinnam. We say suppose you tear off something. That is chinnam, isn't it? So kinchin naschinnam. We don't lose anything. If you say for a jnanam which is eternal, you are only doing adhyaropa of a word. Namamatra adhyarope. You are just doing adhyaropa of a particular word called abhava. By doing that, we don't lose anything. So that is what he says. Okay, then atha abhavo jnayopi san jnana vyatirikta iti chet na. Jnana vyatirikta iti chet. There we have to stop. Natarhi, that natarhi, we have to read like that. Natarhi jnaya bhave jnana bhavaha. Then is another small suggestion. Atha abhavo jnayopi san. Though this abhava is jnaya, we don't say that is equal to jnana. Earlier he said jnayam and jnanam are one. We say, now say abhava is jnayam, no doubt, but then it is different from jnanam. It is different from jnanam. Abhava is no doubt jnayam, but it is different from jnanam. Jnana vyatiriktaha. So it means in Sushupti you can't say that, you can't derive, you can't come to the conclusion that there is Jnana. Always he wants to achieve the impermanence of Jnana. So Atha Abhavo Jnayopi san, though Abhava is Jnayam, then Jnana Vyatiriktaha, it is something different from Jnana. Iti chet. Then Natarhi Jnaya Bhave Jnana Bhavaha. Natarhi Jnaya Bhave Jnana Bhava. If you say like that, earlier statement you said Jnaya Bhave Jnana Bhavaha, then that will be hurt. Jnaya Bhave Jnana Bhavaha iti na vaktum shakyate tvaya. That is how we have to understand it. Jnaya Bhave Jnana Bhavaha. You can't say that when Jnaya is absent, Jnana is absent. You can't say that. Is it clear? Jnaya Bhave Jnana Bhavaha na vaktum shakyate tvaya. You can also write down if you want. Na vaktum shakyate tvaya, bracket, in brackets. Na vaktum shakyate tvaya. Then he makes another suggestion, Purvapakshi. Jnayam jnana vyatiriktam natu jnayam jnanam jnaya vyatiriktam iti chet na. Suppose he says jnayam jnana vyatiriktam. Jnayam is something which is distinct from jnanam. Vyatiriktam is something which is different, something which is distinct. Jnanat vyatiriktam, jnana vyatiriktam. Jnayam is something which is different from jnana. But Jnanam is not something different from Jnayam. So that is what he says. For example, like somebody says, clay is something which is different from Ghatam. But Ghatam is not different from clay. So something like that. But that situation is not here because that is a different context, but this is a different context. Jnayam Jnana Vyatiriktam Natu Jnanam Jnaya Vyatiriktam. But Jnanam is something which is not different from Jnayam. Jnanam Natu Jnanam Jnaya Vyatiriktam. This Jnanam is not different from Jnayam. So if you say like that, it is not possible. Suppose I say you and I are one. I am different from you, but you are not different from me. Suppose I say it is only namesake. It is only namesake and it is rather funny logic. So that is what he is going to say. Shabdamatratvad Vishesha Anupapatte. Shabdamatratvad Vishesha Anupapatte. Shabdamatratvat, because it is only a Shabda. Like earlier he said it is Namamatra Adhyaropa. Shabdamatra, you are only saying like that. Vishesha Anupapatte. There is no speciality. Vishesha Anupapatte. There is no possibility of any Vishesha. Vishesha Anupapatte. There is no possibility of any Vishesha when you say like that. Then Jnaya Jnanayoho Ekatvam Ched Abhyupagamyate. Jnayam Jnana Vyatiriktam Jnanam Jnaya Vyatiriktam na iti iti tu Shabdamatram etad Vanhi Agni Vyatiriktaha Agnihi na Vanhi Vyatiriktaha iti yadvad Abhyupagamyate. Okay. So he says, he is referring to the Purvapakshi's argument. Jnana and Jnaya are one. That is the argument, isn't it? Jnaya Jnanayoho Ekatvam Ched Abhyupagamyate. If you are, on one hand, when you are saying that Jnanam and Jnayam are one and the same, Jnaya Jnanayoho Ekatvam, the oneness, Abhyupagamyate, when you are saying that it is so, Jnayam Jnana Vyatiriktam. Jnayam is something which is different from Jnanam. But Jnanam is not something different from Jnayam. You can't say like that. Jnanam Jnaya Vyatiriktam na. It is not different from Jnanam, say Jnayam. You can't say like that. Iti tu Shabdamatram etat. It is only your statement, that's all. It doesn't stand to logic. Like Vanhihi Agni Vyatiriktaha. Vahni and Agni are one and the same. Yeah. Fire and there is no another. Is there any other word for fire in English? Fire. Agnihi. We have got so many words, so that is the advantage. Vanhihi Agni Vyatiriktaha. That is, Vahni is different from fire. Whereas fire is not different from Vanhi. Suppose I say like that. It doesn't make sense. So it is like that, it doesn't make sense. So that is what he says. Vanhi Vyatiriktaha iti yadvadu abhyupagamyate. It has to be taken like that. Jnaya Vyatireke tu jnanasya.
ज्ञेयव्यतिरेकेषु ज्ञानस्य
ज्ञेयाभावे ज्ञानाभावानुपपत्तिः सिद्धा.
ज्ञेयाभावे ज्ञानाभावानुपपत्तिः सिद्धा.
ज्ञेयव्यतिरेके tu jnanasya. On the other hand, if jnana is something different from jneya, jneyavyatirekhe tu jnanasya. If you accept that jnanam is something different from jneyam, then jneya bhave, in the absence of jneyam, jneyasya abhave, jnanabhava anupapattihi siddha. You are establishing that there cannot be any absence of jnanam. You are establishing that jnanabhava anupapatti. Anupapatti means you are establishing the improbability of non-existence of jnanam. You are establishing the improbability of non-existence of jnanam. That means you are accepting that jnanam is always present in simple terms. So jnaya vyatireke tu jnanasya, when jnanam is something which is different from jneyam, then that jnaya bhava, when you say that jnaya bhava, there need not be jnana bhava. When jnaya bhava is there need not be jnana bhava. Jnana bhava se anupapatti. That is something which is siddha. Siddham means which is established, very clearly established. Then jnaya bhave adarshanaad abhavo jnanasya iti chetana. Okay, jnaya bhave, in the absence of yajneyam, in the absence of yajneyam, adarshanaat, because it is not seen, abhavaha jnanasya iti chetana, because the jnaya is not seen, because adarshanaat, then in such a case, abhavaha jnanasya iti chet, jnanam also is not there, suppose you say like that, then na sushupte jnaptyabhyupagamat.
Sushupte
jnaptyabhyupagamat.
Tairastitva bhyupagamat. Sushupte tairastitva bhyupagamat.
Sushupte taihi. Tairastitva means taihi. Astitva bhyupagamat. Astitva means jnanasya astitva. Taihi, you can note down. Taihi, astitva means jnanasya astitva abhyupagamat. Here, of course, it is a pathantaram, that's all. But meaning is same. Jnaya bhave adarshanaat abhavo jnanasya iti chetana. So, if you say that in the absence of a jnayam, abhava also, jnanam also is absent. You can't say like that. Because, na sushupte jnapti abhyupagamat. Sushupte taihi. Taihi means vainashikaihi. By them also, your book says taihi astitva abhyupagamat. Astitva means existence. Existence of what? Jnanasya. Taihi jnanasya astitva abhyupagamat. That is, by them also, the existence of jnanam is accepted in deep sleep. Sushupti. This is called alaya vijnanam. There is the sushupti. The Buddhists, they use a term. That particular school of Buddhists, not all Buddhists, they talk about alaya vijnanam. In fact, the Buddhists, they classify among different types of consciousnesses. They don't say about one consciousness, they talk about 8 different consciousnesses. That is 5 senses, the knowledge which we are getting, these 5 senses, 5 types. For example, nose consciousness, that is whatever knowledge I gain through nose. That is ear consciousness, whatever knowledge I gain through the ear. Then eye consciousness, whatever I get through the eye. So like that 5 consciousnesses. Then there is one mind consciousness. Mind again, it has its own sorting out, it is something like a clearing house and all that. So it collates all that information, isn't it? So there is a mind consciousness. In addition, that is 6. There is another one called deluded consciousness. The mind sometimes, klishtam. Klishtam means it is afflicted. It is afflicted by various things like greed, sorrow, various other things, and then you are confused. Confused thinking or deluded consciousness. So that is 7. Then there is another thing which is the base of all, that is called alaya vijnanam. That is somewhat like the store consciousness or storehouse consciousness. Alaya, you know alaya, like Devalaya. Alaya means a dwelling place, isn't it? The dwelling place, that is the store, let us say, storehouse. That storehouse consciousness. That storehouse consciousness is something like your unconscious or something like that, where all these impressions of the past janmas, the karma, vasanas, etc., all those things will be there. Because Buddhists also accept karma, they accept rebirth, all these things they do accept. So this alaya vijnanam, the concept of alaya vijnanam is being mentioned here. You see, Vainashikaihi abhyapagamyate jnanasya astitvam. Which line were we reading? Sushupte jnapti abhyapagamat. Yeah, this is Sushupte jnapta abhyapagamat. Even in deep sleep, because alaya vijnanam is very much there. That is the foundation consciousness, we can call it alaya vijnanam. It is something like a store consciousness or foundation consciousness. It is always admitted by you also. Then Vainashikaihi abhyupagamyatehi sushuptepi jnanastitvam. Okay, vijnanastitvam, both are one and the same. Vainashikaihi api, by them also, abhyupagamyate, it is admitted. What? Sushuptepi jnanasya astitvam. So even in deep sleep, sushupte astitvam. So I will read out what Anandagiri says. Sushupte jnanasya darshanadeva abhava ityadya dvitiyam sakate jnaya abhava iti. So I will read out. Alaya vijnana santatehe nityatvangikarena tvaya tadapi tadabhavo vaktum na shakyate. So that's what he says. This alaya vijnana santati. So for them, vijnana or consciousness is momentary, as I said. This momentary vijnana, it flows like a stream. So this moment I have got a vijnana, I have got an awareness. This dies. Next moment there is another vijnana, that dies. Next moment another vijnana, that dies. So so like this there is a continuous flow, continuous santati. Santati means a stream. Alaya vijnana santatehe nityatvangikarena. The santati is nityam. Again, that pravaha nityatvam they say. That pravaha nityatva angikarena tvaya tadapi tadabhavo vaktum na shakyate. When you are accepting like that, you can't say that it is non-existent. Tadabhavam tadabhavo na vaktum shakyate. Its absence or its non-existence cannot be advocated by you, cannot be argued by you. So that's what he says. Vainashikaihi abhyapagamyate sushuptepi jnanastitva, vijnanastitvam, as your book says. So even Vainashikas, they accept that it is in deep sleep, it is there. The earlier argument was by somebody else who wants to disprove the existence of consciousness in deep sleep. The earlier argument was by another group. Okay. Then tatrapi jnayatvam abhyapagamyate jnanasya abhyapagamyate jnanasya svena iva iti chetana bhedasya siddhatvat. So here again there is a small technical, very delicate thing. Tatrapi means even in that sushupti, jnayatvam abhyapagamyate jnanasya. Okay, we are accepting that jnanam is jnayam. We are accepting that we are accepting that jnanam is jnayam there. How? Svenaiva. Jnayatvam abhyapagamyate jnanasya svenaiva. Jnanam is knowing itself. So that is what this Sushupti, these people say. Who? This Vainashikas. Even in deep sleep, they say that jnanam is there. But then that jnanam is known by itself. So when known by itself, it becomes a jnayam. Known by itself, even whatever you say, known by itself, known to itself or known by itself, it becomes jnayam, isn't it? So when it becomes jnayam, then okay, it becomes jnayam. That is what they say. It becomes jnayam. Tatrapi jnayatvam abhyapagamyate jnanasya. There also, this jnanasya jnayatvam. Jnanam is becoming jnayam there. So that is what they say. Iti chet na. Then Shankaracharya says, no, it is not like that. Bhedasya siddhatvat. Do you get that line? Bhedasya siddhatvat. This bheda means difference. Difference between what? Difference between jnanam and jnayam. That is something which has already been established. The difference or distinction between jnanam and jnayam is something which is established. You can't break it. Jnanam and jnayam you can't combine. You can't merge. Then siddham hi abhava vijnaya vishayasya jnanasya abhava jnaya vyatirekat jnaya jnanayoho anyatvam. So jnaya jnanayoho anyatvam siddham. That is the basic word. Jnaya jnanayoho anyatvam. That is the distinction. Anyatvam. Jnaya jnanayoho anyatvam siddham. That is, it is established. the difference between Jnaya and Jnana is established. So in between, let us see the word. Siddham hi abhava vijnaya vishayasya jnanasya. It is a complicated word. Abhava vijnaya vishayasya jnana. If you want to write down in Telugu, you can write down. Abhava vijnaya vishayasya jnanasya means abhava rupamaina vijnaya vishayam. Abhava rupamaina vijnaya vishayam yokka jnanam. Jnanam. Abhavamane jnayam kanna veru. Abhavamane jnayam kanna veru. I will now tell in English. Abhava vijnaya vishayasya jnanasya. So this jnanam is having abhava vijnaya vishayam. Jnanam is about abhava vijnaya vishayam. Abhava rupa vijnaya is the vishaya. Abhava rupa vijnaya is the vishaya. Vijnaya and is the same as jnaya. Abhava rupa vijnaya is the same as jnaya. Abhava rupa jnaya vishayam. Jnanam is abhava rupa jnaya vishayam. Jnanam is about this abhava. Because abhava also is jnayam, isn't it? Abhava is jnayam. And this jnanam about that particular abhava. Jnanam about that particular abhava of jnayam. That also, that is also jnayasya. Abhava jnaya, abhava vyatireka, abhava vyatirekat. What does it say? Jnanasya. Abhava jnaya vyatirekat. Abhava jnaya vyatirekat means abhava is a jnayam. So that it is different from that jnayam. This knowledge of this abhava is different from that jnayam called abhava. Okay, now I have got a simple word, a simple structure. The knowledge of abhava is different from that jnaya called abhava. You can write like this. Knowledge of that abhava which is jnayam. Knowledge of abhava which is jnayam is different from that abhava which is jnayam. Is different from abhava which is jnayam. This is what it means. So that because it is like that, the difference between jnayam and jnanam is very clearly established. All this is a very slightly confusing discussion, bringing in Tarkikas at one time, Vainashika at some other time, Vijnanavadi at some other time. So that is why we have to slightly make a distinction. So I will read this sentence again. Siddham hi abhava vijnaya vishayasya jnanasya. This jnanam which is abhava vishayam, that is jnanam relating to the abhava, which is also jnayam, is different from jnanasya abhava jnaya vyatirekat. This is different from the abhava. This is different from that jnayam, which is abhavam. This is different from abhava, which is also jnayam. So jnanam is different from jnayam. So that is how, because of that, jnana jnanayoha anyatvam siddham. It is very clear that jnana is different from jnaya. Then of course now he continues in the same manner. Nahi tat siddham mrutamiva ujjivaitum punaha anyatha kartum shakyate vainashika shatairapi. So tat siddham vastu, what has already been established. Tat siddham vastu means that has already been established. Na ujjivaitum shakyate. It can't be revived. Something which has been dead, it can't be brought back to life. So that is what he says. Nahi tat siddham vastu mrutamiva na this na has to be connected here. Mrutamiva na ujjivaitum shakyate. It can't be revived. Ujjivanam means bring back to life. It can't be brought back to life. Punaha anyatha kartum va. Or you put it in a different way, or alter it in a different way, tell it in a different way. It is not possible. Once it is dead and gone. You can't revive it, you can't put it back in some other form. Shakyate vainashika shatairapi. Even 100 vainashikas cannot do that. Then jnanasya jnayatvam iti. Purvapaksha says another suggestion. Jnanasya jnayatvam iti. Tadapi anyena इति त्वत्पक्षे अतिप्रसंग इति चेत् न त्वत्पक्षे अतिप्रसंग इति चेत् न No, he says, in your argument there is an anavastha dosha. That is, jnanasya jneyattvameva iti. You say that jnanam, we say that jnanam is there. Suppose you say, you are aware that there is a jnanam of an object. So you are aware that there is a jnanam. When you are aware that there is a jnanam, that jnanam is becoming a jnayam. When you are aware that this pen is there, this pen is becoming a jnayam, isn't it? So similarly, when you are aware that there is a jnanam, jnanam also is becoming a jnayam. So that is what he says. Jnanasya jnayattvameva iti. So he is just, attributing something to Siddhanti. Jnanasya jnayattvameva iti. Because you say that jnanam is there. When you say jnanam is there is a jnanam which is observing it, isn't it? There is a jnanam which is knowing it, which means that earlier jnanam has become jnayam. So then the second jnanam also will become a jnayam, it will be known by another third jnanam. This third jnanam will also be a jnayam which will be known by another fourth jnanam. So like that there is an infinite regress. Infinite regress means there is no end. Anavastha, in Sanskrit it is called anavastha. Avastha means some place of halt. Avastha, stha. Then anavastha means there is no halt. It goes on infinitely, infinite regress. So that is what it is. Jnanasya jnayattvameva iti tadapi anyena jnayam tadapi anyena jnayam iti tvatpakshe ni pakshamulo in your argument atiprasanga means something which can't be accepted. Atiprasanga. We also say atika prasanga, something like that. Atiprasanga. In this case, what is this atiprasanga? That is anavastha dosha. The footnote writes, atiprasangaha anavastha rupa anishta prasangaha ityarthaha. Anavastha is an infinite regress. There is no end to it. Iti chet na. If you say like that, it is not like that. Tad vibhagopapattehe sarvasya. So everywhere that vibhaga is very, very clear. Jnanam and jnayam are two distinct things. That vibhaga, that division is very, very clear. That vibhaga upapattehe. Everywhere that has been very clearly established. Yada hi sarvam jnayam kasyachit tada tad vyatiriktam jnanam jnanameva iti dvitiyo vibhaga eva abhipagамyate अवैनाशिकैः न तृतीयः तद्विषये इति अनवस्था अनुपपत्तिः. Okay. So he says everyone except you Vainashika, everyone except this Vainashika, he is accepting that Jnanam is distinct from Jnayam. Only this Vainashika is saying that Jnanam and Jnayam are one. Then he says, Yadahi sarvam jnayam kasyachit. Kasyachit means kasyachit jnanasya. For them, everything is known to jnanam. When everything is known to jnanam, when everything is knowable to jnanam, tada tad vyatiriktam jnanam jnanameva. That is tad vyatiriktam, that jnaya vyatiriktam. That jnaya vyatiriktam jnanam jnanameva iti. So, what is this line? Tad jnaya vyatiriktam. Let me see what it is. What does the footnote say? Okay. Here he says, अथवा द्विभागोपपत्ते इति छेदः. सर्वस्य वस्तुजातस्य विभागो असंकरः ज्ञानं ज्ञानमेव न ज्ञेयं ज्ञेयमेव ज्ञेयमपि ज्ञेयमेव न कदाचिदपि ज्ञायम् इत्येवम् आनन्दगिरि इत्येवं रूपः तस्य उपपत्तेः इत्यर्थः. So he says, यदा हि सर्वं ज्ञेयं कस्यचित् means कस्यचित् ज्ञानस्य. When everything is ज्ञेयं for some ज्ञानं, तदा तद्व्यतिरिक्तं ज्ञानं ज्ञानमेव. It is not तद्व्यतिरिक्तं ज्ञानं ज्ञानमेव. That is Jnaya Vyatiriktam Jnanam Jnanameva. That is, you are cognizing, you are objectifying everything. When you are objectifying everything, very, very clearly that Jnanam which is objectifying everything is something which is different. Anandagiri, the same thing Anandagiri writes, Sarvasya Vastujatasya Vibhagaha Asankaraha. That is, this Vastujatasya Vibhagaha, this division of all this whole Vastu is something which is unmixed, Asankaraha. Jnanam Jnanameva na Jnayam. Jnayam api Jnayameva na kadachitapi Jnanam. Jnanam is Jnanam, Jnayam is Jnayam. There is no Sankara, there is no mixing up of these two. इति इत्येवं रूपः तयोः तया इति रूपः तस्य उपपत्तेः इत्यर्थः. So this is the fact. ज्ञानमेव इति द्वितीयो विभाग एव अभ्युपगम्यते. Only the second vibhaga only is accepted by everybody. Jnana, Jnaya, these two vibhagas only are accepted by everybody. Avainashikaihi, everybody means Avainashikaihi, means all except Vainashikas. Avainashikaihi, all except Vainashikas. It is accepted that Jnanam is totally different from Jnayam. Trutiya, not Trutiya tad Vishaye. In that context, there is no Trutiya, there is no third division. Called one Jnanam is known by another Jnanam, that Jnanam is known by another Jnanam. So that Trutiya Vibhaga is not accepted by any. Iti Anavastha Anupapattihi. So Anavastha, that sort of infinite regress, Anupapatti, infinite regress does not take place, does not arise. So it is really hair splitting. So we will continue in the next class. Om Purnamadah Purnamidam Purnat Purnamudachyate Purnasya Purnamadaya Purnameva Vashishyate. Om Shanti Shanti Shantihi.